Welcome to the Young Hang Hot Rod Shop.
Welcome back, friends, to another episode of the Young Hang Hot Rod Shop. Today, we're going to do a more in-depth look at my Young Hang Hot Rod that I built back in 2018. The story behind this guy, originally it started with a clone, and that clone lasted about 100 hours of use, and then it finally broke the piston top and it started to leak through here. And of course, whenever this piston was going up and down, it was allowing pressure to go straight through the crankcase, and I was getting the oil mist out of the filler, and that of course was not conducive to a long and happy life for the compressor. So anyway, my clone, I've actually rebuilt it. It's sitting over there, ready to go back into service, and I did replace it with a piston that has the top of the piston wall is twice as thick as the original that came with it. So I'm pretty sure it'll last for a little while longer. But anyway, I'm not going to use that clone anytime soon. The Young Hang Hot Rod, called the Wrong Way, actually came to me. I did a previous video about it. I bought it on clearance from Amazon. It was damaged in shipment, and I paid less than 200 bucks for it. And then I had to replace the cap, straighten out the metal, and then I noticed the flange was cracked on the casting, and I used some JB weld to fix the casting. And people were like, oh, don't use JB weld. I'm like, I'll tell you, I've used that stuff on this farm for a lot of stuff, and it is a crazy way to fix things in a very permanent way. And it's held up. I mean, I don't use the Young Hang much anymore, but it's got some hours on it, and that JB weld is held up fine. But the Young Hang Hot Rod is scheduled for a serious overhaul. It's going to get a lot of updating, but a lot of you folks have asked me for kind of a fly-through of the design of the Young Hang Hot Rod, and I thought I would walk through and talk about that. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to get the hover cam ready to go and take you through it. All right, we're going to start getting this guy uncovered. And yes, I do keep my Young Hang covered, because otherwise it would get really dusty. So here we've got the heart of this thing, the mighty Young Hang compressor, and it's, you know, it's not stock. It's got my hour meter edition here. It's got a chiller pipe that's all copper. So here we've got the Wrong Way. This compressor was the one that I got off Amazon. It was damaged. It's been glued together. All this discoloration here is from the water that this first separator block has saved me. And honestly, with this water, this air chiller, this tube chiller on here for the outlet air, I'm telling you, I get way more moisture out in this first stage than I did before. So this is kind of my pre-separator for the separator. By chilling this air down, you're going to get moisture out when you drop that temperature, and that's only going to help you. And it did add a little bit more load to the cooling system, but we're going to change that coming with the updates to the Young Hang Hot Rod. We'll cover that some more. Up here I've got thermistors, thermal transducers that I made out of T-fittings. And again, this is just simple RTV and the thermocouple set in these T's with the tip down touching the water flow. So I'm getting a pretty accurate temperature reading out of these guys. And these are just homemade hardware store T's and cheap Amazon temperature units here. And again, the whole reason for this instrumentation was not to monitor all of these channels all the time. When I first built this, I didn't know how this cooling system was going to react, so I wanted to understand how the temperatures were being affected. You'll notice this also has a flow meter, in here so I can monitor the flow rate. And honestly, when I first started this project, I had this vision of making this whole thing completely integrated and automated. But honestly, I stopped using it before I got to that point and went over to the GX compressors. But I am going to do the hot rod upgrade because I've got the electronic young hang right here that's going to go in. And we're going to do some upgrades all along the way. But this tank right here is aluminum, so it's really good at getting rid of the heat. In fact, just touching it here in the shop, the sidewalls feel really cold because it's still got the temperature from last night. So this guy does radiate a fair bit of heat, and it is a huge thermal sink because it's full of water. So I think it's got 2 gallons of water in it. And again, I use distilled water with water wetter added to it. I'll put the affiliate links below for everything that I can find on Amazon still. But I do like having this big tank of water because honestly, it really slows down the rise of temperature. And even when it reaches equilibrium at about 145, 150 degrees Fahrenheit, it takes a while for it to get there, like filling a large bottle from nothing in order to get this thing up to the full temperature. Here, I had a fan that I just set in there for now. I had one mounted in there, and it bit the dust. So I've got to pull this tank out in order to mount this fan in here a little better. And this radiator is actually just a replacement heater core from the automotive world. And I think when I built this, I found this heater core on Rock Auto as a clearance item for like 15 bucks. I'm like, how do you get, a perfect little radiator like this for $15? The answer is closeouts on Rock Auto. But you can get them on Amazon too. They're inexpensive. I think even full price for one is about $30. But they're great little radiators. And up here, this is the interface for the flow meters, or flow meter. And we'll fire all this up and show you what the displays look like lit up. Now this is my temperature readouts. This head temperature is just like the temperature measurement that comes with your young hang from the factory. It's just a thermal pickup right there. I did bond mine in place. I put a little bit of Arctic white thermal epoxy in that hole. Probably could have used silicone too, but anyway, I just popped that in there because it was always vibrating out. So that's the head temperature. The inlet temperature is this thermistor right here, because the water comes around this way, comes through this T right here. And then we've got the outlet temperature. That is this T right here, comes out of the head of the young hang and then goes into the output airline cooler and around and back into the tank right here. And the tank is really easy to look at and service. But yeah, not really much to show in there. So that's our temperatures. And this one I use mostly for recording so people can see what my ambient temperature is and my relative humidity. It's just a data point. It used to be that this main power would enable power to the pump, but now that the new pump is going to be this guy here, that guy is 230, so, or 240. I'm going to need to have that on its own power feed because everything in here is designed around 110, 120. So that's pretty much it. There is a separate cord set for the flow meter, but we'll get it all hooked up and let you see what it looks like with power on it. I'm not going to run the compressor because that's just really obnoxiously loud, and I don't want to run this anymore until I get the new improved oil in the new Young Heng, that guy, and get the new one in here and all set up, and it'll be able to do full bottle fills more or less unattended. I'm not going to get very far away from it, but it'll be able to stop at 4,500 psi, and it'll be good to go. All right, folks, here we go. This is the main power into this box. Right now, in the previous iteration, you would have had power to this outlet for the pump, and with this switch, it'll turn on the pump and the instrumentation. You can see all the temperatures here. And then we need to get this guy to run. There we go. You can see we're getting 1.6 gallons per minute, which is a pretty good flow rate through this tank and through the cooling system. And one of the changes that I'm going to make going forward, I'm going to double the capacity of this. And I mean, the airflow through here is great, so I'm gonna double the width of this heat exchanger and get even more performance out of it. But what you hear is the fan and the pump running and the water going through the circuit. But lots of upgrades to come, and I believe that'll make this one of the most technologically advanced Young Hengs on the planet, at least for a little while, until somebody outdoes me. But that's it. We'll see you all again in a future episode of the Young Heng Hot Rod Shop, where hopefully we start doing some of the upgrades to this and get you brought up to speed with what a Young Heng can be. That's all for this episode of the Young Heng Hot Rod Shop, folks. Stay tuned. In an upcoming episode, we're going to upgrade this guy and make it first class. We're definitely going to take this up to 11 and get it to be a really cool little Young Heng. I want to remind everybody, affiliate links for most of the stuff I used to this build will be down in the comments below the video. And yeah, if you guys want to share data, I'm happy to look at it with you, and hopefully we can all become a little smarter on how to keep these Young Hengs cool without using a 5-gallon bucket or wastewater cooling solutions, neither of which to me are really elegant solutions for this. But anyway, stay tuned, and we'll have more stuff for you here real soon. Be a light in the darkness, friends. Have a great week. Bye-bye.